Richard, you made a bold statement today, and you said you're not in the habit of doing so lightly, that Joe Joyce is the best heavyweight in the world right now.
Yes.
Do you care to explain?
Well, he has the amateur background. He is a silver medalist from the Olympics. Most people think that he should have won the gold. Be it as it is, I think what he has shown us since he turned pro in those 7 fights shows how good he is. He has the punch. He reminds me a lot about George Foreman. He's not the fastest guy, so he's never going to beat guys with his speed, but he beats down people with his punch. He has that one punch knockout power, which is very important for a heavyweight. But then he has as well something which is very underrated, unbelievable chin. And if you have both, an iron chin and a big punch, you are a real threat in the heavyweight division. And just the way he carries himself, what he's shown me in the ring, I do believe the course we have charted for him, a dangerous fight here against the Word, a big step up. If he passes this test with flying colors, which I think he will be then ready to come back in the summer and in the fall, a challenge for the WBA heavyweight world title, and by next year be available.
Anthony Joshua, presumably.
No, the winner of Char and Brand. So Anthony Joshua is the super title holder.
Oh, we're talking about the regular situation.
Yeah, exactly, the regular world title, and then be ready for a Joshua or a Deontay Wilder or a Tyson Fury.
What's your view of this situation now? We've had multi-world titles for decades, but it's only in the 21st century we've had splinterings of the same sanctioning body title. Most of the industry people seem to like it they seem to think the fans don't get it, and that's why they don't like it. Talk to me.
Well, in the end of the day, if there wouldn't be a demand, we wouldn't have it. So I think there is clearly a demand from fighters, from networks as well, and there is a people like the belts. I mean, boxing is a sport where you fight for a belt. In other sports, you fight for a trophy. Here, you fight for belts.
You don't see a great problem with it, then? You think?
No, I think sometimes when you have one organizations with 2, 3, or 4 titles, it does get a bit diluted and difficult to follow. So you can say there's a lot of cons, but there's a lot of pros as well.
You were saying something interesting behind me earlier today when you were alluding to the situation with the network today with the 3 heavyweight kingpins right now.
Yes.
With Tyson Fury having just revealed the ESPN deal this week, Joshua working with Sky and DAZN, and Deontay Wilder having up to now been with Showtime and Fox.
Yes.
And you were saying that you could understand why they want to protect their investments because of the huge amount of investment they've made.
Yeah, exactly. So it's not fair if you are a network executive and you invest tens of millions in a fighter, and even more so in a sport, and then when the biggest fight comes, you say, okay, I'm not going to do it. So you make that investment leading up to those big fights, and when the big fight comes, you or your audience rather doesn't get it, it's a letdown, and then you have to think, do I invest in the right sport if I can't get the biggest fights? So that makes it difficult, and I think the only way to solve that situation is if you let a fight like we're talking about Fury and Wilder, you let a fight like that go to a purse bid where each party can bid, and whoever bids the most gets the fight. And those who don't get it, the only ones to blame is themselves.
It makes a lot of sense to me. And then the sanctioning bodies can mandate these fights as they see fit.
Well, that's what they did. The WBC said that they ordered an immediate rematch, and I hope they're going to do that, because then you're going to see, like, whoever wins, wins. And the beneficiary is going to be the sport, because you're going to see those fights, but the beneficiaries are going to be the fighters as well, because they might end up with a lot of money.
And Doug, you've already made your superlative opinion of your man Joe Joyce and exactly where he's headed by next year. If I were to ask you right now who in your eyes is the true world heavyweight champion, what would you say to me?
The true heavyweight champion?
The true heavyweight champion of the world right now, Richard Schaefer.
Deontay Wilder, no question about it, yes. No question about it, and the reason why I say that is he just everything about him. I mean, how long he's been defending the WBC title, and his willingness to fight everybody. He wanted to fight Joshua. He offered them 50 million. Joshua said 50 million and we'll have a fight. They offered him 50 million. We didn't have a fight. So he is, in my opinion, the real deal.
Last question. I don't know if you make particular predictions regarding your fighters' fortunes, but do you think Joe Joyce is headed for an early early victory on Saturday night?
Well, if you would have asked me a couple hours ago, I would have said yes. But then when I saw Bermain Stavern walk into the room here, and you look at him now, the man is in shape. He's in an amazing shape. This is not a fat, out of shape Stavern. This is an athletic, in shape Stavern. Stavern has an unbelievable jab. If he's going to keep using his jab, it's going to give Joe in the beginning some problems until he figures him out. And an in shape Stavern is a danger. We saw what he did with Chris Arreola, knocked him out, or we see in the first fight with Deontay Wilder when he was in shape as well, how difficult a fight it was. It went 12 rounds in Las Vegas. So I don't think it's going to be an early night.
Richard, thank you very much for making yourself available for the Voice of Boxing.
Of course, anytime.
Enormous pleasure. Thank you very much and good luck.
Thank you very much. Thank you.